Warm welcome to yet another discussion on GATE Electronics and Communication Network related papers. Today we are checking GATE 2006. Moving to a one more question. In the system shown below, x of t equal to sin t u of t. In steady state, the response y of t will be. So this is basically a linear system. That means if we apply a sinusoidal input, we must obtain a sinusoidal output. And that property of sinusoidal input signal is called sinusoidal fidelity, right? So we have to actually evaluate what will be the magnitude function and phase function offered by this system, right? So we have to evaluate the magnitude function and the phase function. The function of the system is given as 1 by s plus 1 and the magnitude response or h of j omega. Magnitude function is h of j omega, and here it is mentioned that the input frequency as omega equal to 1 because sin omega t u of t comparing with sin t u of t gives omega equal to 1. So we have to evaluate the magnitude response first. For that I am substituting s equal to j omega, that means 1 by root of omega square plus 1 at omega equal to 1 implies 1 by square root of 1 plus 1, that is 2. That is 1 by root 2 is the magnitude function or magnitude value. Similarly, we have to evaluate phase contribution. For that, I have to first of all evaluate phase function. Phase function is on the numerator side tan inverse of imaginary part. There is no imaginary part, so tan inverse of 0 by 1, right? But there is a real part contributed to this one. Next, we have to evaluate the phase factor contributed by the denominator tail. As it is denominator side, we have to put negative sign. So minus tan inverse of, again imaginary part is s is j omega. So omega by real part, that is 1. This turns out to be minus tan inverse of omega is again 1. So minus tan inverse of 1 equal to minus 45 degree. So the answer turns out to be y of t equal to 1 by root 2 sine, right? Sin t minus 45 degree. 45 degree is actually pi by 4. So this is the answer. Now moving to another one more question. Consider the function f of t having Laplace transform f of s equal to omega naught divided by s square plus omega naught square with the real part of s greater than 0. The final value of f of t would be, right? So here f of s is given as omega naught divided by s square plus omega naught square, right? And we have to evaluate the final value of f of t. Checking, f of t turns out to be sin omega naught t. We know sin omega naught t is an oscillating function, right? It is oscillating between minus 1 to plus 1. So f of t, so at t tending to infinity, the value turns out to be f minus 1 less than or equal to f of infinity less than or equal to 1. So answer turns out to be C, right? Now moving to a two mark question. A two-port network is represented by ABCD parameters given by V1 I1 equal to ABCD V2 minus I2. If port 2 is terminated by RL, the input impedance seen at port 1 is given by, right? So a port 2 is terminated by RL. So I am drawing the corresponding figure here. This is ABCD matrix two-port network. So, and at the load side, it is terminated by an impedance mentioned as RL, right? So in input side, a voltage signal is applied, right? The current direction is as in this figure. So we can mark V2, right? V2 equal to minus I2 RL, right, from this figure. Because in the question it is mentioned as the port 2 is terminated by RL, right? So we can mark V2, the output voltage V2 equal to minus I2 into RL. Now we can write the ABCD parameters. V1 equal to A V2 minus B I2. Similarly, I1 equal to CV2 minus DI2. Now I am substituting for V2. V2 is minus I2 RL. So then we have to evaluate the input impedance at C net port 1. So input impedance C net port 1 is actually V1 by I1. That is, I am substituting for V2. V2 equal to minus I2 RL and taking common I2 here. So V2 is minus I2 RL. I am taking I2 common. So minus A RL minus B divided by, again I am substituting for V2, that is taking common I2. So C into V2 equal to minus I2 RL. So minus here RL minus D, right? Again simplifying, we obtain A RL plus B divided by C RL plus D, right? Checking options, it is D, right? ARL plus B divided by CRL plus D. Now moving to another 2-mark question. In the two-port network shown in the figure below, Z12 and Z21 are respectively, right? We know Z12 equal to V1 by I2 at I1 equal to 0, right? So when I1 equal to 0, the input voltage V1, right? Input voltage V1 turns out to be 0 as no current is flowing. So Z12 equal to 0. Now we have to evaluate Z21. Z21 equal to V2 by I1 at I2 equal to 0. I2 equal to 0 implies, right? I2 equal to 0 implies there is only a one current called beta I1, right? So V2 turns out to be that current into resistance. But the current direction is just opposite to the taken direction. So minus beta I1 into R0 divided by I1. So that turns out to be minus beta R0. So answer turns out to be 0 and minus beta R0, option B. Moving to another 2-mark question. The first and the last critical frequencies or singularities of a driving point impedance function of a passive network having two kinds of elements are A, pole and 0 respectively. The above property will be satisfied by, right? We know if the first singularity or first critical frequency is 0, we obtain RC admittance or RL impedance. Similarly, if the first critical frequency is a pole, we obtain RC impedance or RL admittance. So substituting the above conditions, we know here it is given as first critical frequency being pole. So it must be either RC impedance or RL admittance, right? So it must be RC network. If in the question it is mentioned as a driving point admittance function, the answer turns out to be RL network only, right? In the question it is asked as driving point impedance function. So the option turns out to be RC network only, right? Now moving to another 2-mark question. A 2 millihenry inductor with some initial current can be represented as in the figure, where S is the Laplace transform variable. The value of initial current is, right? So it is basically the equivalent circuit for an inductor with the initial current, right? Here it is mentioned as voltage source in series with an impedance. So I am applying source transformation. That means I am converting the voltage source in series with an impedance to current source in parallel with an impedance. So for conversion, that means for source transformation, I am marking the current source. The current source direction must same as that of the voltage source delivering the current. So it must be downward, right? As the voltage source deliver it in this direction, the current source must also deliver in this direction. Parallel with the same impedance. That means it is 0.002 S, right? Now we have to evaluate what will be the value of this current. That is, current source value is IL0 minus equal to 1 millivolt, that is 10 raised to minus 3 divided by this impedance, that is 0.002 S, right? So that turns out to be 1000 by 2000, right? So the value turns out to be 0.5 by S. So 0.5 by S. So the value of the current source is 0.5 ampere. We know an inductor with the initial charge can be represented either as current source in parallel with an impedance or voltage source in series with an impedance. Similarly for the capacitor case also. Anyway, I am drawing the corresponding equivalent figures. This is actually the corresponding figure. Here, an inductor with initial charge is represented as a voltage source in series with an impedance, and it is converted to a current source in parallel with an impedance. Actually, this question is direct mere conversion of this, right? Here in the question, it is asked in the terms of this voltage source in series with that impedance. We have converted it using source transformation. Anyway, it is a very direct question too, right? Similarly, for the capacitor case, it is given in the first case as a voltage source in series with an impedance. It is converted to a current source in parallel with an impedance too, right? So these two figures are very important. So moving to another 2-mark question. In the figure shown below, assume that all the capacitors are initially uncharged. If Vi of t equal to 10 U of t volts, output voltage V0 t is given by, right? So it is basically a capacitor charging discharging problem, and it is mentioned as capacitors are initially uncharged and the applied voltage source is actually acting only after t equal or greater than 0, right? As all the capacitors are initially uncharged as mentioned in the question, the initial value turns out to be 0. Now we have to evaluate what will be the final value. As it attains steady state with this 10 volt DC, we have to calculate the final equivalent figure, right? So there is a 1 kilo ohm, next another 4 kilo ohm is here, and applied voltage is 10 volt DC, right? As 10 U of t turns out to be a 10 volt DC, plus minus 10 volt. Now the output voltage is V0 equal to 10 into 4, 40 by total resistance 5. That is 40 by 5 is 8 volt, right? That means final steady state value turns out to be 8 volt. Right. Now we have to apply capacitor charging discharging expression, that is Vc of t equal to V final minus V final minus V initial e raised to minus at. For that, final value is 8. So 8 minus again another 8 minus initial value is 0. So 0 e raised to minus at. For that, I have to calculate what is A. A is 1 by time constant, and here this is basically RC combination. So 1 by RC. For that, we have to evaluate what is R. For evaluating R, we have to deactivate the voltage source. That is, we have to short circuit it, and a resistance R 1 kilo ohm is here. Next, the capacitor is also deactivated at this moment for calculating resistance value. Next, again another 4 kilo ohm is here. We are taking the output voltage across these 2 points. That turns R equal to 1K parallel 4K. 1K parallel 4K turns out to be 1 into 4 by 1 plus 4. So 4 by 5 or 0.8 kilo ohm. Right, R turns out to be 0.8 kilo ohm. Similarly, we can calculate what will be the value of capacitor. Right, for calculating the value of capacitor, again I am short circuiting the voltage source and open circuiting the resistance elements. So there is a capacitor 4 microfarad, right? Similarly, another capacitor of 1 microfarad is here, 1. Now the effective capacitance is 4 parallel 1. So 4 parallel 1 for capacitance case it is 5, right? So effective capacitance turns out to be 5 microfarad. That means A equal to 1 by 0.8 into 5. Right, 1 by 0.8K into 5 microfarad. So on the numerator side it is 10 raised to 3. So 10 raised to 3 or 1000 divided by 4. Now substituting the values, 8 minus 8 e raised to minus t into 1000 by 4. Right, e raised to minus t into 1000 by 4. So answer turns out to be 8 into 1 minus e raised to minus t by 0.004, right, volts. So it is answer B. Now moving to a last question in this tutorial. A negative resistance RNEG is connected to a passive network gain having a driving point impedance Z1 of S as shown below. For Z2 of S to be positive real, which of the following conditions have to be satisfied, right? So first of all, we have to check Z2 of S, right? Z2 of S equal to this impedance RNEG plus Z1 of S, right? As it is serially connected to this driving point impedance, it turns out to be RNEG plus Z1 of S, right? So I can mark it as RNEG plus real part of Z1 of S plus J into imaginary part of Z1 of S, right? Z1 of S, right? Here in the question, it is mentioned as, or we have to calculate Z2 of S to be positive and real, right? For it to be positive and real part of Z2 of S, that is this term, real part of Z2 of S must be greater than or equal to 0, right? That indicates RNEG, this is RNEG, right? RNEG plus real part of Z1 of S must be greater than or equal to 0. From that, RNEG greater than or equal to minus real part of Z1 of S, right? That is minus RNEG less than or equal to real part of Z1 of S. Or I can write it as RNEG, mod RNEG less than or equal to real part of Z1 of S, right? So that turns out to be the answer A, right? So option A is the correct one. So for more GATE tutorials, subscribe my channel. Now I am signing out till we meet again with another GATE paper. Thank you.